Another day, another insane deflection by the Cheeto chairman as pressure mounts on him and Congress reopens today. In a press conference yesterday, Trump made threatening statements about sending the National Guard to Chicago and ending no cash bail.
If you go back, this whole thing with cashless bail is a disaster. So many problems came that we never had before. I called up our people, and we did a great job. Tom Homan was great. As you know, our secretary did a great job. They did a great job. There's no games. They didn't play games. And we're going to have the same thing here. But then I'm going to look at New York. If we need to, we're going to do the same thing in Chicago, which is a disaster. We have a mayor there who's totally incompetent.
So what Trump is talking about here is basically doing what he did at the border and across the country with ICE agents to Chicago and New York with the National Guard. And he's already had a trial run in D.C. the past few days. I have another video about that. But as a result of this, J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, came out and made this statement.
There is a law on the books confirmed by the Constitution called posse comitatus. And it means that the federal government does not have a right to send soldiers into American cities for the purpose of, well, for any purpose really, but specifically to fight crime, let's say. And that is what he's suggesting that he will do, violate that law.
So I believe that he's attacking no cash bail in liberal cities as an attempt to further distract from the issues he's going to have as Congress reopens. But additionally, I believe he wants to undermine the efforts by these states to actually have autonomy separate from Trump. I know, a real Republican concept to have autonomy separate from the federal government. But no cash bail is the idea that if you commit a non-violent crime, for example, drug use, under no cash bail, this person would be able to apply to be released without paying the thousands of dollars in bail that they're most likely not ever going to get back because these people are typically living on the streets anyways. And they're going to go back to drug use to cope with that because we have no help system for these people. Chicago actually implemented no cash bail in 2023 for nonviolent offenders, and Trump yet again chose to spread misinformation about the types of people that would be released.
I mean, bad politicians started it, bad leadership started it, but that was the one thing that's central, no cash bail. Somebody murders somebody and they're out on no cash bail.
It has been 0 days since the mushroom head maniac spread misinformation. I've got bad news. The sign's never gone above 0 days. What he said here is just categorically false. No murderer has ever been released on no cash bail because of the murder they committed in history, in any state or in any city. The story that Republicans are going to bring up to try to counter what I just said is the story of two NYC men who were convicted of murders and spent 20 years behind bars for that already. Then they were released and arrested for a separate selling drugs offense. Because the crimes that were committed are non-violent, they were released on a no cash bail. This is the system working as intended. These people need help, not further incarceration. We need pathways for these people to be able to pull themselves out of this poverty. We need equity. We need equality. Over 60% of people in jail are held pretrial because they can't afford bail, and minorities are disproportionately affected by this, as young black men are 50% more likely to be unable to afford bail, while at the same time receiving bail amounts 35% higher than white people on average. And I'm taking all of these stats from an NYU study done in 2017. I'm going to link that in the comments here. Addressing what he said about deploying the National Guard in Chicago, this is something I view as a poor attempt to distract from his problems and remove autonomy from these states in an effort to be able to further exert his control and advance the fascistic ideas beyond the heads of his rich friends. Chicago and New York are two of the largest and most prosperous cities in America. They're not hellholes like they would have you believe. And this statement is backed by facts. Chicago is ranked as the 6th most competitive financial center in the United States, and if New York State was an independent nation by itself, it would rank as the 8th largest economy in the world. These are not struggling cities, guys. These are cities with expanded social safety nets, greater pathways to recovery and equity, and they've set the stage to allow them to have things like no cash bail and these systems that allow for greater equity and equality. I wanted to end this video by saying saying thank you for the support on my recent videos. It means a lot to me that my voice is being heard and appreciated, and this does drive me to continue to talk about these topics in a public forum and share my ideas with everyone, as well as learn from you in the areas where I fall short. Remember to always uplift each other and target those who harm and destroy, and not to friendly fire. Do not target those among us who are learning to be the best they can be. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a great day, stay safe, and thank you for your attention to this matter.